So your very recent, your Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man has been released, and I'll be honest with you, I have never been this surprised of a TV show before. Because when it was first released, it was basically going to be an introduction to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Just a prequel, just to show him as to what he was doing previously to Civil War. So in hindsight, it was basically just going to be a limited series, just nothing too much to see, just something that's going to be a one-off and just pretty much it. Like nothing really canonically important to the MCU. And then when the writer's strike happened during 2022-2023 time, that's when Marvel completely revamped the shows and the movies. And that includes your Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man. Instead of the show being Spider-Man freshman year, it completely changes the prequel to what it was meant to be, to now basically making it an alternate version of a new Spider-Man in a different dimension. And I believe this is basically the idea of what Marvel actually wanted it to be if Spider-Man was in the MCU with its full control rather than Sony. With the introduction of the Norman Osborn's Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, new characters like Nico Minoru, traditional characters like Harry Osborn, and just so many more that's just been really gardening it and seeding it through. And my overall opinion of the show as a whole is, wow, what a surprise, and genuinely one of the most surprising shows I've seen, and just I'm really excited to see what they're going to do for season 2. And yes, one of the complaints when it came to the show was the animation. At the start, I'll be honest with you, it was a bit weary and a bit off to see, because I'll be honest with you, I've never seen the type of animation style being used in a comic book show before. But then when you watch the shows week in, week out, you start to get used to just like seeing the animation style, and it really grew on me. But the main thing that really got me into it was the story. For a long time, I haven't seen an animated Spider-Man show to be this good since Spectacular Spider-Man. But I guess there was Ultimate Spider-Man, but as you watch the show, you start to realize it doesn't really age well. And then we have the 2017 Spider-Man, which I don't really want to talk about it, because I watched like the first few episodes and I just couldn't really get into it. Like, his voice is just completely annoying. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to replicate something that was completely similar to the MCU, but they just really fumbled it. With your Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man, it did take elements in the MCU, but they just made it a lot more better. For an example, in the first few episodes of your Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man, Norman Osborn gets introduced to Peter. And this scene was amazing because it was literally a resemblance of what happened in Civil War. Rather than Tony Stark being in there, let's see what will happen if Norman Osborn was going to be there. And Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn is honestly just the perfect choice. Like, I can see him playing as a live action character. Like, he's just so menacing. Like, you can see the things shattering. Like, you can see his dark side coming. I'm just very excited to see what they will do for season 2 and season 3, since those are renewed. We also see an introduction to Lonnie Lincoln, basically Tombstone, but as a teenage version. Now, at first when I thought about this, I was like, will this work? Because Lonnie Lincoln is more grown to Peter during that time. But as we see the character progress, we see his struggles, we see he just wants to be a good person, but as time goes on, he has to make choices where it will lead to something bad. Like, in the end, spoilers, we see a grain of what his skin is going to be. And yeah, I'm really excited to see his character development. I mean, it's already really good, but going throughout the seasons, we're just going to see more of it, and I'm just very excited. I think characters like Nico Minoru was another great addition, although I'm not really fond with Runaways. She was just a very good character to be with, rather than just seeing Ned Lead or Mary Jane or something like that, to be honest. I think it's a very good way to just refresh, to be honest. Like, just get some new characters out. We see Amadeus Cho, we see Dr. Connors, like the female version, we see a lot of characters actually, in particular in the Spider-Man universe. We see Rhino, we see Dr. Octopus, we see Scorpion. There were just so much that I can't believe they did this in season 1. I think what really surprised me was side characters like Rhino, because although Rhino is a major Spider-Man villain, we see him as basically a knucklehead, just basically trying to destroy things. And I don't think that's his character. I think what this show is trying to do is trying to make him very complex. And that's something I really like to see, especially we haven't seen it in Spider-Man media. I think another character that surprised me was Matt Gargan Scorpion. although we did see him in the live action Spider-Man films, we don't see him at all in No Way Home or even Far From Home. So I don't know what they're going to do with the character. Hopefully he can arrive in Spider-Man 4. But this show already just shows me we need him in the MCU, like in the live action format, because what they did in animation style to make his character like that, wow. Like we need Michael Mann as Scorpion back. I also really liked Peter's character. I mean, his character doesn't seem to be shy of what is meant to be Spider-Man. Like there are certain scenes where I see Peter just being himself, just being Spider-Man, just helping people out, civilians out. And I think a lot of the times, that's what I really liked about Spider-Man. It's really down to its core. We see that he's a street level character. He's nothing multiversal, nothing a big threat. He's just a street level character trying to just make a neighborhood a very good place. And that's the very core bit I loved about this show. And I'm excited to see what they will do in season 2 because they really set up a lot. For instance, Richard Parker, Otto Octavius is planning to get out. Daredevil and the other character are basically on a team. I've been seeing cameos like Doctor Strange was a really good one. And also, I forgot to mention there was also a symbiote cameo too. And they will obviously be adapting the symbiote story. I just don't know if they're going to be doing it in season 2 or season 3 because the fact they set so much stuff up, I can't just see everything to be in season 2. I can see it being split down to season 2 and season 3, but I guess we will see. I believe that overall, it's a really, really good Spider-Man show. I'm very excited to see what's going to come. Although there are some flaws, I'd say, when it comes to the pacing at sometimes, and also say the animation can be a bit choppy. I would say this is a very, very good start for a very, very good Spider-Man show for the coming years for a new audience. So overall, I'm going to give this show an 8 out of 10.